France's economy didn't fail because of war or plague, it imploded because a Scottish banker convinced an entire nation that paper was worth more than gold. By 1720, France looked stable on the surface. The Sun King was dead, the wars were over, and the Treasury had a new man running the show, John Law, a financial genius with a radical idea. He'd created the Mississippi Company, a venture to colonize Louisiana and extract its wealth. Investors rushed in. Fortunes multiplied on paper. Everyone believed the next generation would be richer than the last. Then, almost overnight, it all evaporated. Here's what we're usually told: the bubble burst because speculators got greedy. Prices rose too fast, reality caught up, people panicked. They tried to redeem their paper for gold, the bank ran out, and everything collapsed. Simple cause, simple effect. It's the story that fits neatly into textbooks and makes sense in hindsight. But that explanation leaves out the machinery. Yes, speculation happened. Yes, prices inflated beyond reason, yet the real damage didn't come from the bubble itself, it came from how the system was designed to collapse. Law's Mississippi Company wasn't just a business venture. It was intertwined with the French government's debt, the royal bank, and the entire monetary system. When confidence cracked, everything was connected to everything else. The collapse happened fast. By late 1720, people lined up outside banks trying to convert paper to metal. Queues wrapped around blocks, some waited days. The bank issued so much paper, far more than gold reserves could ever cover, that the math became impossible. Withdrawals slowed to a trickle. People who'd made fortunes on paper now held worthless certificates. Fortunes that existed only in ledgers simply ceased to exist. But here's where the textbook explanation breaks down. The bubble burst, yes, yet France didn't recover in a year or two like other markets might. Instead, the country spent decades in financial trauma. The damage was structural, not temporary, and that's because Law's system had become the entire foundation of French finance. When the Mississippi bubble popped, it didn't just wipe out investors, it shattered public trust in paper money itself. For decades after, French citizens refused to hold banknotes. They demanded metal, they buried coins in fields rather than trust banks. The psychological scar ran deep. This wasn't rational market correction. This was collective trauma that shaped behavior for generations. The government's debt didn't disappear either, it just got worse. France had used Mississippi Company shares to retire old debt. When those shares became worthless, the underlying debt remained. The Crown had to find other ways to fund itself: higher taxes, new loans, more financial manipulation. Each attempt bred more resentment. This debt spiral would haunt French finances for the next 70 years. By mid-century, France's fiscal problems had become critical. The state couldn't borrow easily anymore. Creditors remembered the bubble. They demanded higher interest rates or refused to lend at all. Meanwhile, military spending kept rising. Wars in Europe and overseas colonies drained the treasury. The cycle of debt, taxation, and resentment accelerated. What started as a financial bubble evolved into a structural crisis. The social consequences were equally severe. The middle class, which had invested heavily in Mississippi shares, lost everything. Their wealth evaporated overnight. Trust in merchants and financiers shattered. The gap between rich and poor, already wide, became a chasm. Common people saw the elite manipulate markets while ordinary investors bore the losses. This inequality, this sense of being cheated by the system, festered for decades. By 1789, France faced a full-blown financial crisis. The crown was bankrupt, the nobility refused new taxes, the middle class and poor were desperate. The debt accumulated from decades of failed bubbles, wars, and fiscal mismanagement had nowhere left to go. The system broke. Revolution didn't emerge from ideology alone, it emerged from financial desperation rooted directly in the Mississippi bubble's aftermath. So that's why the Mississippi bubble mattered so much. It wasn't just a market correction or a lesson in greed. It was a cascading failure of trust, debt, and inequality that reshaped an entire nation. The paper promises that seemed so valuable in 1720 became the foundation for decades of financial instability. One bubble didn't just burst, it fractured the entire system beneath it. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe to uncover how financial manias repeat across centuries. There's a new historical bubble waiting to be unpacked every week. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.